Everybody wants to be here. My brain obliterated. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and today we are back with another dun dun mukbang. Woo! I have so much to talk to you guys about today, but today we have a bunch of Ethiopian food. This is something that I have never done on my channel before, and I have also never done this completely sober, so this is a first for everything today. Today is very special. So here we have 2 injeras, which is like an Ethiopian, I don't know what I'm saying, leave it in the comments if you know better. I believe it's like a soft, doughy type of wrap bread, and you consume it with everything pretty much. It's like Korean's kimchi. We can't have a meal without it. That's what I heard. And here we have a veggie combo with, I want to say cabbage, potatoes. This is some sort of curried thing with collard greens. Like sweet potato-y. Here we have some beef stirred with jalapenos and onions, stir-fried, and then here we have a tomatoey salsa thing, and then here we have beef cubes in a beef stew. Here we have some beef, oh man, I don't know the name. It kind of spelled like samosa, but I know it's not a samosa. Like samosas are Indians, I believe, or Indian cuisine, I believe. And then here we have 2 more injera wraps. This is why I didn't want to do this mukbang. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been trying to film an Ethiopian food mukbang for a hot minute, and I was just so scared of offending people because I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. I just really like the food. So let's get started. Okay. Literally, I have a full-on raging erection right now for this food. Okay, we're gonna start. I don't think you're supposed to wrap the beef in the injera, but we'll wrap this. The sourness of this is so good. Okay, this is the beef stew. It's so good. Ooh. This kind of reminds me of like a sang paneer. I know they're completely different, but it has kind of like that sour, pungent, very delicious taste. Do I wrap the salsa? Oh, maybe I'll just add a... Suddenly a bit is making a burrito. Okay, let's try this. I am literally about to have tears in my eyes. So juicy, but has that grilled smoky taste. Best. Salsa's fresh. I didn't know it was possible for food to taste better when you're not sober, but this tastes so much better when I'm sober. Can't believe I haven't had it in years. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. They also gave me like this sauce, so I'm just gonna dip it down here. And we're gonna get into today's story time. I just wanna really show my appreciation for this food real quick. There's definitely lamb in here. This is one of the craziest flavors I've ever had. It's like a very intense, meaty flavor. I actually like gamey meat. Like, I know it's gonna sound bad to everyone who doesn't eat meat, but I enjoy lamb and kind of like the more adventurous meats. But this is a little intense for me. Okay, salsa, and let's get into today's story. So I wanted to talk about this because I used to wear this dress to work. It's like a very prim and proper dress. I never get to wear it anymore because I don't work anymore. But this used to be one of my favorite outfits, and I spent a lot of money on this dress, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pull it out of the closet and wear it today. And it got me thinking about work stories, work shit, stuff that happened at work. I would say that most of my bosses were kind of crazy in the past, but this boss was really crazy. We're gonna call him Matthew, okay? This beef is so good. If I'm eating anything the wrong way, just let me know in the comments. So Matthew had the weirdest habit of threatening employees. I think I've briefly mentioned this, but he wouldn't threaten to be like, okay, well, you're fired if you don't do this. But he thought, like, literally, we were selling high-end jewelry, but he thought this was, like, mind games. He was playing, like, guerrilla warfare on us business. He would take us one by one into his, like, dimly lit office. And while he's watching the security cameras of everyone else on the floor, he would talk to you. And at first it would seem like he specializes in you. Like he thinks you're special. You're different. You're someone he thinks he can mentor. That's the type of vibe he gives you in the beginning. And then suddenly he wants you to rat people out. And he encourages this by telling you false information. He'll be like, oh, Stephanie, you know, Christina was talking about how you did this. Why did you do that? And I'd be like, what? I never did that. So then I would think, okay, well, Christina's a little hoe. She's lying to the boss about me, so he likes her more. And I'd be like, are you kidding? Christina's the one that yada, yada, yada. He would always do this, and one of his favorite things to say to all of the employees is, like, we were working with high-end jewelry, so it was kind of like, in the industry, you make really good money in this, like, store. It's, like, a very decent living, you can afford decent stuff, and it's just fun. They treat you well, you get to relax more, and he would always threaten us with, by the way, nothing's wrong with these stores, with, do you even want to be here? Show that you want to be here. It's not like you're at some shitty place. It's like, you're here. Everybody wants to be here. Are you sure you want to be here? Like that type of really intense, just like mind. Can you imagine? There were times where I would be in his office for 2 hours at a time, just getting my brain obliterated by my middle-aged, balding, family man boss, okay? So he pumps you up, makes you feel like you have potential, that you have something to work towards, and then he shoots it down by talking shit about other people, making you talk shit, making you hate yourself for talking shit, and then being like, show me that you want to be here. Anyways, very, very creepy, just setting this storyline, okay? So then another crazy thing happens. This is when I was like, okay, something is wrong with this guy. Sorry, I'm taking my house slippers off. I'm getting real comfortable. I had this coworker. She was much, much older than us. So most of us were averaged in our late 20s. I'm in my early 20s. Don't get it twisted. Business be like, oh, you look old. Or like early 40s. So late 20s, 30s, and early 40s. And she, I think, was in her 70s. I didn't ask. I don't think you're allowed to ask. I mean, you're allowed to, but they're not obligated to answer. Ooh, collard greens. I didn't eat it because I was like, vegetables? Give me that meat in my mouth. But that was good. That was really good. Those collard greens. Oh, set. So we're going to call her We'll call her Betty. Did it suddenly get dark in here? What's happening? Okay, well, let's make it a little brighter. No, let's do this. We'll call her Betty the Biz, Betty the Snake. Betty was the worst person to work with. And originally, I really liked Betty. When I started working for this company, Betty was one of my favorite coworkers. I thought she was like this kind, sweet grandmother. She has grandkids. She doesn't work for the money. Which she would always let us know. And we knew, like, she comes from like she's always very well dressed, has very nice jewelry, very nice handbags, you know. It's not like she was faking it. Like, I really truly believe in my heart that she wasn't working for the money. She would tell me that she wanted to work so that she doesn't develop like Alzheimer's. She just liked working. And when I first started with the company, she kind of latched on to me. She kind of made me feel like she would mentor me, that she would be my work mom. Do you guys believe in having like a work husband or a work wife or a work mom? She pretty much told me she would be my work mom, and she would help me get sales, learn to be better at selling, get better commission rates. And I was like, damn, why does she like me so much? Why does she love me? So every day that we're working together, she did this thing. Took me forever to catch on, by the way. What does that say about me? She would do this thing where she would be working with someone, helping somebody. So when you come into the store, we always have pretty expensive things in the front and center. So right when you walk in, you're like, oh, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Oh, so much sparkle, you know? And then you walk a little bit deeper, and then it's like, oh, very, very expensive, high-ticket items. And then you walk to the very back, and those are your, like, entry-level fashion jewelry, just, like, cheaper. Like, people, high schoolers even buy them. It's, like, very anniversary present, birthday gifts, graduation gifts. It's not so much, like, engagement or, like, freaking $1 million around your neck type of thing. So she was known on the floor for being a snake. And a snake is someone who, the minute someone walks in, they run to them. They don't give anybody else a chance, which is really frowned upon, because even though it's commission and you're supposed to make money and you have goals, you try to be fair to your colleagues. You try to be fair to your coworkers. You don't want to be that bitch everybody hates. But she would do this, no shame. But I had no problem with this because, first of all, I was just starting there. I didn't really know my way around. And second of all, after we had that talk where she said that I had so much potential and that I reminded her of her daughter, she would bring me customers to help. And nobody else would have customers. She would bring them to me. So I'd be like, oh my God. This lady really cares about me. She would bring them to me. I would help them for hours. They would buy something small, but you know what? Something small is better than nothing at all, right? Until somebody informed me, after weeks of doing this, weeks and weeks, I would just help those people that she would bring to me. And I'd be so busy with these people because for some reason, these people would always take so much time. And I don't like to rush people out the store because it doesn't matter if you're buying $100,000 or $100, I still want to treat you like you're a VIP. It's about the experience. So I was just making no money. I was just selling small, tiny things, spending all day on it. And I was like, what is happening? Everybody else seems to be doing fine. This young girl comes up to me and she goes, you know, I was in the same position as you. When I first started working, Betty Basic Betty, Grandma Betty, she said that she would mentor me. And what she would do is she would, every time someone comes in, she would say, hi, how can I help you? Yada, yada, yada. And if that person wasn't getting engaged or wasn't looking at anything expensive, she would bring them to her. Now you're probably thinking, okay, well, at the end of the day, does it really matter? Because she's still bringing you at least a small sale. But the truth is, it does matter, because when you have a certain amount of people coming into the store, let's say you have 5 people that come in and you've got 3 employees. So Basic Betty, Evil Grandma goes up to the first customer that comes in, realizes that they only want to spend like $300, tosses it to a different employee. That employee is spending hours and hours helping that person on $300. Another person comes in. Grandma goes straight to them. They're like, oh, I'm just looking. Throws it straight to her after she's done with this 5-hour-long $300 sale. And now she's helping someone who doesn't even plan on buying anything. And then another person comes in. Grandma goes straight to them. Realizes that they're trying to buy like $20,000. Suddenly she's excited. She's got her tickles. She's got her titties tickled. Whatever gets her going. It's in her. She's doing it. She's happy. And so she would get all of the big sales in the store. And everyone's like, okay, well, that's not freaking fair. And so I decided, you know what, that's not okay, because I have missed out on so many big sales because I was helping these people that she originally started helping. So it's really unfair. It should be that if you say hi to that person, then regardless of how much money they're going to spend, you need to stick with that person until they leave the store for that day. Because it's so shady. So I told Grandma, I guess we're just calling her Grandma. Another thing that I like is so satisfying. I feel like I'm eating my plate too, you know? What if I rolled it into a big burrito? Giving me life. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna help her anymore with these cases that she's given to me, these clients, these customers, that she's giving to me, so she can do her own thing. So we kind of end up in weird terms. Like, we're not really talking anymore. She's over me. I'm over her. She knows that I know what she's on to. She's just waiting for the next fresh meat to come in so she can throw customers to another unsuspecting little girl who walks in thinking, you know, she's going to do great things. Okay, it's so much easier to eat it like this. So we're on really awkward terms. And one part of our job description, which a lot of people were thinking, why is this lady still here? This grandma, and I'm not trying to be like ageist or anything, she causes so much drama at work. She's actually very rude to customers. And she barely accomplishes her job description. Oh my gosh. Oh, there was like no salsa in here. What the heck? Meat. So, I think personally it's because of her age that the company is scared to fire her. Let me tell you why. So we have these little areas, and this is in our job description. So it's not like extra work that the managers or the boss wanted us to do. These are things that when you sign on to be like, okay, I'm gonna work here, I'm gonna be paid to work here, it's like in your contract, like, oh, also this is another area of responsibility that you have to do as this position. And it's, everybody is assigned a certain area, and it's like on rotation, so you're not like the same area for the rest of your life as long as you work there. But you get assigned an area, and you have to be the one that's always updating like all the tags, all the inventory for that place. So there is accountability where everyone is checking everybody's inventory, but your main responsibility is to make sure that the tag is on the right items, because this is a high traffic store. So a lot of people are trying on things, putting things back. Just make sure every piece is in the designated back stock of where it belongs, and make sure that it's labeled correctly with the correct price, the correct details in terms of, you know, the carat weight of the diamonds, yada, yada, yada. What is it made out of? And if the tag is like eroding or it's slipping off, then you got to print new tags and attach them on. And you just have to make sure everything's on point. Now, tags on these jewelry pieces were very, very small tags. And I will say that grandmother, I feel like grandma's so disrespectful. Grandmother, Mingo, like, what are you gonna do? Mingo, I just want to know your game plan. Let's say someone breaks in here and you bark all aggressively and ferociously, but they get in here anyway. What are you gonna do, Mingo? You gonna protect us? All right. So the tags were small. So she would always ask somebody younger than her, and everybody was younger than her, if we could do her section for her. Which was annoying because certain sections are harder than others. If you get a section that has so many pieces, I'm talking like the cheaper sections are harder because you have way more traffic, more people are buying cheap stuff, so more hands are touching the cheap items, which means that more likely tags are going to get messed up, they're going to fall off, they're going to erode or whatever, and shit is going to be all over the place in the back stock. So that's a harder section. And by the way, you can't come and fix your section before work or after work. You got to do it when the store is open. So when you come and today is super slow, nobody's walking in, then that's when you fix your section. You can't come early for security purposes. You can't stay after. So it's like you're wasting time making money to do this. And everybody has to do it, so it's fair. And it benefits everyone because you clean your section, everybody cleans their section, and in turn, every section is clean. But the managers even favorited her. What? Why can't I say it? Favorited her. She was favorited. Anyways, the manager gave her the easiest goddamn section of all time. It was the easiest out of all the sections. It wasn't even like big engagement rings because not a lot of people look at those, but it was like big necklaces. Nobody spends that much money. And like I said, when people come in, they usually spend money on big event stuff. So an engagement ring is when people will spend the most money on jewelry in pretty much your lifetime, unless you're just like really, really rich and you really love jewelry. That is most likely the most expensive jewelry piece any woman owns, is her engagement ring. Not a lot of people would look at her section of necklaces and stuff. So she would always ask one of us to do it. And we would spend our time doing it for her because we thought we had to. We thought it was part of the rules. But then she would just get all... And as we're helping her, like there were times that I helped her on her section and people would come in and you would think that because I'm so busy doing your work that you would be like, oh, well, let me see if Stephanie wants to help this customer. Or let me see if I should split this sale with Stephanie because she's doing my work for me. Nothing. Nada. None of that. She would still take all the sales. She would never give you a sale unless it was like the smallest sale that you would just waste hours and hours doing. And so people started getting mad. Not just me, but everyone noticed what she was doing. So nobody helped her with her damn section anymore. Until one day, she sold a necklace. And I can't quite remember how much the amount was, but it was very expensive. Like, it was in the tens of thousands. She sold the necklace. After the customer left with this necklace, we realized, okay, not like immediately, not the same day even, but after we're trying to do inventory, we realized that she didn't update the tags in her section. So she accidentally switched the tag of that one with something else. So she gave this customer like a $7,000 discount. So instead of buying, like, the necklace originally was worth $30,000, but the ticket on it was wrong because she never updated her section, and we were goddamn sick of updating her section for her. So then she would sell it for, what's the math? $23,000. The customer bought it, customer leaves, the store just lost $7,000. I'm so bad at math. The store just lost so much money because she didn't want to update her tags. And so obviously the managers were super upset with her, especially because it's her section. But also on top of that, what you're supposed to do is high ticket value items like this, or at least the place that I've worked, is that the serial number will actually be on the necklace or the ring or bracelet or whatever it is. So you get a little magnifying thing and you look up the serial number, make sure it matches the tag before you actually sell it to them. But she was like just reading off the tag, entering it into the POS, selling it for $7,000 cheaper when she didn't know what she was doing. And after the managers got really mad at her, she got mad at all of us. She got mad at us, pretty much saying if we had helped her with her damn section, this would have never happened. But for us, it's like, if you had done your own damn section, this would have never happened. But also on top of that, if you had just checked, like, you don't even have to do your entire section, just check before you sell something, then this would have never happened. This happened multiple times, by the way. I think all in all, she probably lost the store like $30,000 or something like that. Something crazy. And I still don't know how she stayed, because I've seen this place fire people for much less than that. Like, small, way smaller mistakes, and they'll be like, bye, you're donezo, biz, get out of here. But maybe it's because of her age. That's what I'm thinking. Our neighbor's dog is the most rowdy. And then another time she got me in trouble was because, ooh, jalapeno. I will say this is very filling. Oh no, I can't look at it too long. Because the holes on here making me feel some type of way. It's so good. It's just very filling. Actually, she does this thing where if anyone has a repair, we have to do a lot of paperwork when we get a repair. Because when they come in with something they own, that they bought from here and we take it and we keep it for a while to fix it or whatever we're doing, we don't want any reason for the customer to come back and be like, no, you dented it, you scratched it, you did this to my piece, or you lost it, or something, yada, 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 or you took it without my permission, yada, yada, yada. So there's so much paperwork involved, and it takes a lot of time, and you make like no money from that. Like literally no money. You're just like there doing nothing, making no money. And usually repair people, they're not very like nice people. Not repair people, but people who come in because they need a repair. They're usually not like super, super happy. Like, oh my God, I love it. Like, can you help me fix it? It's usually like, why would it break in the first place? Obviously, it's y'all's fault. It's this company's fault. Like, they're very angry people. And they just want you to die. They think that you made their necklace or whatever, or that you broke it. It's just very intense. And you don't really know when someone is having a repair, because most of the times it's been a while since they purchased the product, so they don't have like the correct bag or the box. So I know a lot of places when you return something, if you see the same company bag and they're walking in, then you're like, well, this person's returning, so get out of here, right? Not for repairs. It's usually in their purse or in like a different shopping bag. Every time a repair would come in, she would pass it off to someone, and then she would try to say she has a hard time reading the repair forms because it's too small, like the font is small. Still don't know how she stayed so long when all these other people got fired for small shits. So there was this other person, another employee who was known for being super, super sassy. She's like the type that you just don't mess with. Ooh, it's very soggy. She's like the type that you don't mess with. And grandma tried to pass off a repair to her. So she tells the customer, oh, you know, Sassy here can help you with your repair. And Sassy's like, what? Repair? I didn't say hi to this. Okay, let me set this up for you. Customer walks in. Grandma's like, hi, how can I help you? She's got dollar signs in her eyes. Most people aren't like this, by the way. It was just her. She was just a weird one. And then the customer would be like, you know, I'm actually here for a repair. And Grandma goes, you know what? Sassy can help you with the repair. And Sassy being sassy, she goes, no, you can help her, Grandma. And then Grandma goes, no, Sassy, you can help her. And then Sassy's like, no, you help her since you greeted her. And I'm watching this go down in front of my eyes. I'm not involved. Nobody told me to help the customer. But finally, I was like, okay, well, this is getting really very uncomfortable for the customer because she feels unwanted now because nobody wants to help her. They're just saying, no, you do it. No, you do it, as if she's like a burden. So I'm like, well, I don't want the customer to hate us. So finally, after like 4 rounds of that, I was like, oh, like actually, I can help you. And then I ended up helping them. But guess who got in trouble? I got in the most trouble out of everybody. Out of Sassy, out of Grandma. I got in trouble. You want to know why? Because my freaking crazy power tripping boss told me that I should have offered to help first. Like after I saw Grandma pass it off to Sassy and Sassy passed it off to Grandma, I should have immediately taken responsibility for this customer who I've never met before, who is not my customer, and say, hey, listen, I got you. Which I understand, but at the same time, why was I in more trouble than the other 2 employees? I would understand if Grandma was in the most trouble and then Sassy was in trouble and then I was in trouble. But literally, I was like the only one that got in trouble. And I was like, what the what the Yeah, so that's it for today's video, okay? Not all grandmas are nice. I feel like that's a thing. Everybody thinks just because you're old that you're amazingly nice, and that is very, very false. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you've had encounters with mean old people. I just want to know. I can't be the only one. Leave it in the comments. Like I said, no offense to old people. No tea, no shade, no hate. Just like, it's not okay. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. and watch this video down here, and I will include my vlog channel here. And yeah, that's it for today's video. And guess what, Bess? I'll be back tomorrow.